Okay, so now here we have my first garden, and this one here is 45 feet by 25 feet, and there's about approximately 30 rows of different vegetables, and we'll start off with the tomatoes. So we have 5 rows of tomatoes, approximately 60 plants, varieties of San Marcian, which will be Chard, and this variety here, it's kind of like a long tomato. It's a long oblong sort of tomato. And then we have the ox heart, which is over here, and that one grows to be almost, it looks like an ox heart if you look at it, and they're not quite ready yet, but they will be in a couple of weeks. So it's that shape. And then we have heirloom tomatoes, which are almost ready. There'll be a couple more days and those will be ready. And then we also have an Italian variety of cherry tomatoes, which are actually larger than your typical cherry tomato, and they'll grow on the vine like this. And then that one, they'll be just as sweet as the cherry, the little tiny cherry tomatoes which we're used to seeing. Then we have a whole row of different peppers, and this variety is the Jalapeno, and which they will ripen to turn red like this as well. We're all used to seeing the green one, but we also have, if you leave them on the vine, they'll turn red. We have a Hungarian yellow wax Hungarian pepper, and these are hot spicy ones as well. And then at the end we have the chilies, which there's approximately 5 plants with a lot of chilies, and they have to sit on the vine to ripen, and we're used to seeing them with the red, which they will turn probably in 2 to 3 weeks. Then we have planted 3 rows of lettuce, and this is the second crop because we planted the first crop in May, and of course they like cooler weather, and it's been a little too warm. So probably the end of September we'll see them grow a little bit nicer. And that variety is a dark red leaf. I'm not too sure. I think it's a red sail, that variety. I'm not too sure right now. But then we have half a row of red onions, and these ones they're almost ready to harvest. As soon as the leaves on the top, or these turn yellow and they start dropping like this one, then they're ready to harvest. We have 5 rows of beets, and I started harvesting some this morning. And these ones are a Chioggia variety. It's an Italian variety, and when you cut these, you'll see little rings inside, so they're almost pinky color. And there's also our typical red beet variety, which is that plant there. So you can see the difference between the 2 leaves. The Italian Chioggia has a whiter leaf. The typical red beet that we're used to seeing has the darker leaf. And that's our second batch, and that one was planted in July, so these are almost ready to harvest soon. We have our Swiss chard, and we have 2 rows between 3 rows of Brussels sprouts. These are the Brussels sprouts, and they'll come out with a tall stalk. Those are best harvested in the fall, so October, and they'll be sweeter as well if you harvest in the fall. We have Romano beans, 1 row here. This patch has 1 row, but we also have a separate patch of beans in my 3rd garden.